Planning a trip to Albany, New York? Well, I have one spot you don't want to miss, especially if you are a Hamilton the Musical fan. Here on Leona's Creative Endeavors.
Hello, good morning. I'm here in Loudonville, New York for Casey's basketball tournament, and I decided to search out the best thrift store locally, and I'm here at Virtue. So let's go check it out. Do you want to tell me how long you've been in business?
So we opened Black Friday, and then we were over in that sort of smaller store, and we just expanded here at the end of April.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's been great. It's been fun.
Awesome, beautiful.
It works, our hours.
Well, and you have your QR codes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If you guys have anything you want to bring in, feel free to bring it in. Consigners get 40-60 split on regular consignment. Luxury 60-40, 50-50. You get an account made for you, store credit or checks quarterly.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Great meeting you.
You too.
Think up. Yes. Parking. Historic home of Major General Philip Schuyler. Okay, we're sort of at the back entrance here of the Schuyler Mansion. That was very common back then.
Yeah, so
My grandmother was one of, I think, 18, maybe 11 survived, something like that. Oh, turn around, black cat. That must have been quite the view back in the day. Beautiful. All right, we're at the visitor center. Oh, meow, meow. Oh, cute. Yes. Oh, no way. Oh, wow.
Be greeted by Prince with Skyler's padded slave servants, and you'd be directed to the chairs out here. These chairs are actually originals of the Skylers, which have been reupholstered. These are replicas, which you're welcome to test out.
The front hall was a grand space intended to impress visitors. 26 feet long with 12-foot-high ceilings adorned with elaborate wainscoting and English hand-painted wallpaper called the Ruins of Rome. It was the first space in which the Schuyler's status, wealth, and desire to be fashionable were emphasized. The hall was not only a passageway to other rooms, but during warmer months might also be used as a room by the family for dining, entertaining, or visiting. However, the lack of a fireplace would prevent winter use when the hall would be extremely chilly. At the time of Philip Schuyler's residence in the mansion, the blue or best parlor would have been the most formal and elegant room found in the house, perhaps in the city of Albany. Here the Skyllers would display their wealth and elegance to prestigious guests visiting the mansion, including George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Marquis de Lafayette, and John Jay. Conversation, playing music, singing, or an evening of games as seen here were some of the refined activities that took place. Often, special occasions and family events would be held in the most distinguished room. This room was the setting of the marriage of Elizabeth Schuyler and Alexander Hamilton in 1780. The yellow parlor. This room served as a slightly less formal gathering space where family members and more intimate guests would gather to converse, write letters, read the family Bible, and drink tea. While Philip Schuyler received little formal education, he was nevertheless a learned man and used this room for his private study. The breadth of his interest was a sign of wealth and culture, as was the size of his library. In an age when many people were illiterate, Schuyler's collection of over 200 books was truly extraordinary.
Dining rooms rise to popularity in France, and America loves everything France is doing, so they kind of import the idea of the dining room, but they only use this on formal occasions. So normally in the summer, they might eat in that front hall, they may be eating in the yellow parlor in the winter where it's warm, you'll even see spaces for dining upstairs, but this is kind of a room to impress guests with.
At the top of the stairs sits the saloon. This spacious hall, adorned with painted wainscoting, hand-painted ruins of Rome wallpaper, and elaborate cornice, was likely used for receiving prominent visitors and for dancing or other large gatherings. While a perfect place to sit and catch river breezes during the summer, the saloon was a mere passageway to warm bedchambers in the winter months. The image on the windows is a replica of one painted by Thomas Davies from near Schuyler's property in 1766, showing the view over the Hudson River. Bedchambers in the 18th century were generally public, versatile spaces in which people not only slept, but also bathed, dined, socialized, met with family, and directed the enslaved men and women who did the work of the house. The arrangement seen here illustrates the multifaceted activities Philip, Catherine, and the enslaved would have engaged in while in this room. The large size and elaborate furnishings were designed to impress the very important guests who were given this room for their own use. This smaller bedchamber is interpreted as being in use by visitors. Schuyler's military, business, and family affairs would have brought many visitors to the mansion. This bedchamber is interpreted as in use by the two youngest Schuyler daughters, Cornelia and Caty, who would still have been living at home in 1790.
Biggest questions we get is why is there a chunk of wood missing from your banister? And there is a real story to legend, so to anyone who's heard the legend, I apologize in advance because you might be disappointed in me after this, but I'm going to tell you the whole story here. So in August of 1781, there is a raid conducted by British loyalists to kidnap Philip Schuyler. Because he was running a spy ring and getting them thrown in jail, so it's understandable. The family was eating dinner in the front hall when this happened, and they had just enough warning from Schuyler's guards to run upstairs and lock themselves in one of the front two bedrooms. So they get up there, they hear the guards get overpowered, the raiders actually eat the meal on the table because you have free food, and then they steal some silverware, which is later record of showing up in Canada, and then they're going to kidnap Philip Schuyler. But at the last minute, he outsmarts them by firing his gun out the window and shouting things like, "Men, they're in the house, surround the perimeter, apprehend the villains!" But nobody's out there. It's a great bluff though, because they're like, oh, this was too easy. This guy's a spy master. Of course he knew we were coming, and he has the Albany militia hiding out there to catch us. So the loyalists race on out of here. Now the important thing is we get this account from two primary sources. One is Philip Schuyler's, which is written to at least 3 people, the mayor of Albany, George Washington, Alexander Hamilton. And then the lead loyalist who conducts the raid also writes his account of it, but he's of course a little bit upset in his account once he finds out that they've been tricked. And you can see him talk about it in the visitor center. We have a video where he recounts the whole thing. But that was the stories that was told in their lifetime. So you might be like, where did that mark come into it? Well, 100 years later, their great-granddaughter is like, you guys forgot the best part of the whole story. During the raid, they forgot my grandma was just a little baby in the cradle downstairs. So her big sister, Peggy, bravely went downstairs to scoop her up. But as they were running up the stairs, a Native American spotted them and hurled a tomahawk, but missed and made the mark in the banister. Now there are a few things that debunk that half of the story. One is that it doesn't appear in any primary sources. The other is just physics. If you look at the mark itself, that would be a really weird throw, someone going up the stairs. And the other is the only indigenous person here was a mile away as the scout, so I'm gonna guess that he's not throwing the tomahawk all the way into the mansion. This is probably a story told to Katy as a child, since she was the baby, forgotten supposedly. That just grows and grows because storytelling was your main form of entertainment. But the issue is it gets published. So here are some depictions of it from the mid to late 1800s.